it will be our side of the story and what's happening. I think it'll be illuminating, so I hope everybody comes. We have other stuff going on about the Northern Pass in the meantime, so it will be an update for everybody. And then in June we have a speaker that's going to address the heroin crisis in New Hampshire. So that should be interesting too. Now, we have tonight Brian Sowyrda from the New Hampshire Democratic Party. He's the field and training director, and he's going to talk to us about what's happening with getting candidates, training them, and so on and so forth. So Brian, take it away.
I have a question. If I talk without the mic, can everyone hear me? Or no? All right, that's fine. We'll use the mic. No, don't worry about it. So, as Joyce just mentioned, my name is Brian Sowyrda, and I am the Field and Training Director with the New Hampshire Democratic Party. Prior to this, I was working for Jim Donchis, running his field campaign down in Nashua, New Hampshire, and I'm proud to say that we were able to get him elected and put him in office for the first time. First Democrat in office in 25 years, which is great, and hopefully we can build on that type of election and that type of result throughout the state of New Hampshire here in 2016. So what I've come to talk about tonight is what we're trying to do and are doing all around the state in order to see that happen. And we're going to be holding what we're calling our T4S, our Training for Success programs and workshops. We're going to be trying to hold one in every county around the state, but because Grafton is so awesome and so big, we're holding two in Grafton, one in the northern part and one in the southern part. And what they're aiming to do, we want to give activists an opportunity to come and learn skills and give them tools to effectively participate in the campaign cycle this year. So often we do trainings for our candidates, and not that our candidates aren't awesome, but in order to get them elected, we need everyone in this room. It all starts with you guys right here. The grassroots effort, the people who are going to go knock doors, make phone calls, stuff envelopes, all the grit and none of the glory type jobs, but that's what's going to get us elected. So what we're trying to do is hold these training programs all around the state, covering a number of different issues from committee building to volunteer recruitment, to voter contact, to vote builder, to fundraising, messaging, a whole host of issues, and we just want to give you kind of a basic, the basic rundown on things to expect and obstacles to avoid and best practices to promote. Because as I was mentioning to Joyce and Bill before this, they met with me. The reason we're doing it is, so often at the top of the ticket, there are people who come and may only volunteer for congressional or presidential races, and that's great, and we love having those people. But there are also people who are going to come out and volunteer and knock doors for a state rep candidate, and they're going to do it not because they're that politically active, but because it's a really good friend of theirs or their neighbor. And there's someone, I've never been involved in politics before, but I'm doing it this time because they're my next door neighbor and I want to see them get elected. So what we want to do is we want to give the state rep candidates, the people who are going to be helping those state rep candidates, the skills and the tools that they need to be able to help that person that comes for the first time ever to a house party or a campaign kickoff and say, oh, you want to come and knock some doors for, Representative Bennett. If you want to come and knock some doors for him, here's some, but here's some best practices. Here's what you should be talking about. Like I said, so often we want to be able to bring those people into the fold. Because the more people we can get involved on our down ticket races, not that the top of the ticket is important as well, but the more people we can get involved on the bottom of the ticket, the more successful we'll be. As I mentioned again earlier, and
and I will preface this like I prefaced this last night in Carroll County. I'm going to make a quick jump of 14 years here, but we have a very unique opportunity coming up in 2016. Coming with what we're going to have on the top of the ticket here on the Democratic Party, whether it's either Secretary Clinton or Senator Sanders, and then the whatever clown they decide to nominate on the Republican side, we have, it's coming together. We're going to have a very strong top of the ticket, and that's going to fare very well for our down ticket candidates. And we're going to have the ability to honestly and truly take back the majority in the House, Senate, and Executive Council, and take them back with such majorities that will be able to withstand any potential, negatives that come in the off year. And then in 2020, we can maintain the majority or win it back, and then we can redistrict these ridiculously gerrymandered districts that are in favor of Republicans right now, and do them in a more equitable way, and hopefully turn this state and make the districts more representative of the people that live there, can have 2020 through 2030 of a more bluish state, which we are. Our legislature down in Concord, and I'm sure all the state reps and state senators here tonight can attest to it, is far more red than this state is. And that's, it's not fair to the people of it. So, we want to make sure that we, can re-gerrymander those districts in a way that's more equitable and more representative of the state. And that takes it from 2020 to 2030, and hopefully it'll be bluish all the way through there. So, but it really does it does start here. And like I said, it starts with everyone in this room. If we can get our down-ticket candidates elected and put them in places of prominence in Concord, we can get some of the bills like the Reggie bill passed, that are just to everyone else's common sense, but for some reason we can't seem to get it passed. So that's the goal, and I'm happy to take any questions on it, but we're holding it off. I'm trying to think. There's the date.
May 21st.
I think May 21st is right, and it's 10 to 1. 10 to 1. I can bring up my email. Sorry, we're holding 13 when we're on the state, so I got a little mixed up. But we were talking tonight about trying to get it in Plymouth. The location is to be determined, but we're going to be continuing to send out reminders about it and promoting it. And we want as many people there as possible. We held one in Rockingham County at the beginning of April and heard nothing but positive feedback from everyone who attended about what we covered and what they were able to walk away with. So I hope that everyone in this room would like to come, and please bring your friends. And I know we had a number of town chairs in the room. Please, we're going to be sending out emails about this. Please disseminate it to your network, because those are the people we want to bring in. If we're able to bring those people in, and get them involved and get them into the fold, then it's going to be easier to get our down-to-the candidates elected. So does anyone have any questions? I hope I didn't put anyone to sleep. No? This thing on? No questions? Wow, come on, this is the first one ever. There's got to be one. All right. Well, if you have any questions, my email is on the NHDP's website. It'll be easier to go there than for me to try and spell it for you right now. So with that, we'll give it back to Joyce.
If you can pronounce it. S-O-W-Y-R-D-A.
Yes.
And he's mostly Irish, believe it or not.
Exactly.
I don't get that. But one of the nice things is that the New Hampshire Democratic Party is going to be helping us paying half of our expenses right down the board. So that's.
I didn't mention that. I'm happy to talk.
Oh, we shook on it.
I'm happy to mention it. I didn't know if you wanted me to discuss
I think
it.
it's fabulous, because we might be able to open an office earlier, even if it's not staffed, 24/7.
Can I take the mic back and finish about that?
I wasn't sure about the opportunity to talk about that as well, but we're also doing this. We're opening up, hopefully, regional field offices all over the state. And we'd ideally like to have one in every county. And we talked tonight about having one, hopefully, here in Plymouth. And because, thanks to so many people in this room, the McIntyre Shahin 100 Club's dinner was such a success and was the largest political fundraiser in New Hampshire history, we're trying to take that money and reinvest it right back into getting our candidates elected. So what we're willing to do is pay for half of the cost of any field office that wants to open up. So if you want to have one here in Plymouth, and you can find a place tonight and can open up tomorrow, we will sign the lease and we will have it. We'll pay half the cost from now all the way through the election. And what and what that exactly does is it continues to build on what I was just talking about. We want to give our down TV candidates an opportunity in a place that they can canvass out of, phone bank out of, promote their their name. I mean, and I know a lot of the state reps in the room and state senators and county commissioners can attest to this. Half the battle with getting elected to a down ticket race is just name recognition. And if we can give them a place where there are different pods of people coming together for whatever reason to one common location, where they can be like, oh, I heard about this person who's running in my district, or this state senator is running in my district. It helps to build that name recognition, and it's just an added effect of it also kind of deters Republicans from running. They have to find 400 people just like we do to try and fill out these seats. And if they see that field offices are starting to pop up all over the state, and that there are constantly people in there, and there are state rep signs, and state senate signs, and county commissioner signs, they're going to be, this is what I have to compete against for the next however many months. So it's going to deter them from running. But it really is, it's a great opportunity, and one that, we want people to take advantage of it. We want people to take us up on our offer. The more the merrier. And we looked at a location quickly tonight, and it would be perfect. So again, if you have any questions on field offices, I'm happy to answer those as well. Martha?
Now leave it to me to ask us about the gift towards and the 800-pound elephant in the room, the donkey.
Yeah.
If you give half the money, what are the strings that are attached? We're a bunch of old hands here running elections, and people come in and tell us how to run things the way we don't like it.
And that was one of the things that Joyce and Bill and I talked about tonight. And part of the reason that we want to do this is, and we're trying to promote getting offices open up early, is to create a dynamic in which whomever is nominated in July comes in and starts to staff up and use these field offices. We want there to be a dynamic already in place that we've opened a local Democratic field office, and these are the candidates that we're going to promote. And you're welcome into our space to use it, but this is our space. We've been here, we've been working on it, we've been promoting our candidates, and we're happy to share it with you. But this isn't one of those things where you can come in and, as I've heard in years past, things were taken off the wall. That's not the dynamic we want. It's the complete opposite of that. We're trying to promote, and I'm trying to promote as much as I can, and is that so much of what affects us directly here in New Hampshire is done in Concord. And everything that goes on in DC is extremely important, and it affects us here as well, but so much of our day-to-day lives are affected by what goes on in Concord. And if we really want to see real change happen immediately, then we need to get our down-ticket candidates elected and get them in office. And they need the name recognition, they need a place that they can operate out of. So making sure that there is an understanding that is at 50-50, and that it is as much ours as it is theirs, that dynamic we want to set up early with establishing the offices before some of these places can, before they nominate. But that's our goal, and we're certainly looking for it. That was something we've heard a lot from 14, from a number of places. So that's something we're on the lookout for, and we want to make sure that that dynamic doesn't, come up anywhere.
Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, that was quick. Did I stay in my 10 minutes?